Hey, baby, you ready to get holly jolly?
Oh, always.
Hey Jordan, what are we watching today?
What was that?
That was my wife walking in.
Is she in high heels?
Aww, tell your wife we said hello.
They say hello.
Hello?
She says hello.
That's right.
It sounded like she was coming to kill you.
Santa Claus got an unexpected gift.
What in the name of Sam Hill?
30 years later,
Let's recite the code of the elves, shall we?
Best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Elf 2003. After discovering he is a human, a man raised as an elf at the North Pole decides to travel to New York to locate his real father. Directed by Jon Favreau and written by David Berenbaum, starring Will Ferrell. I could actually go first with this one. You know what? Yeah, second episode, I'm gonna give my opinion first. I like this movie. No, this one, made in 2003, was probably one of the last Christmas classics that people watch yearly, especially like live action. And they put you could tell they put a lot of care into this movie. I feel like this movie has a budget. I feel like it utilizes. It's one of the few times that I think Will Ferrell is used to his full ability as a comedic actor. I feel like the usual thing that people find annoying about him in other movies works. The usual shtick that he has in other movies where he's the man-child really works here. And I feel like there's a lot to this movie that just works really well. It seems like there's a lot of care and a lot of love that went into this movie. I just like it. I like it a lot.
This is, without question, easily my favorite Christmas movie of all time. One of my, actually, near the list of my top all-time favorite movies. I think Will Ferrell does a great job. He has previous working credits in Zoolander 2. I kind of disagree with what Jordan has said in the sense that I don't even think that this is the usual Will Ferrell shtick, because the usual Will Ferrell shtick of a man-child kind of has a certain level of cynicism about it. And I think what makes this film so strong, and what makes it very similar to one of my other favorite films, Enchanted, is that it does such a good job of being a satire, of having parody elements of other holiday films, like Enchanted had for other Disney films, while never being overly cynical, while still being optimistic and hopeful and kind, which is very important for a Christmas movie. And it's very easy for an adult comedy film to go sour when they overdose on cynicism and skepticism. I think there's so much love and craft and detail and attention that goes into this film. The entire beginning of the film is really heavily inspired by a lot of the old claymation films like Rudolph and Frosty. There is almost no CGI used in the entirety of this film. It's either stop motion or forced perspective, like these Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when Buddy gets to New York, all of the scenes of him interacting with New Yorkers are actually not scripted. Those are real reactions from people to Will Ferrell in the streets, which I think is really cool. I think it does such a good job of being humorous and funny, entertaining for adults, of being fresh and modern, and it doesn't feel like it falls into a lot of the same entrapments of saccharine, sentimental, warm, groggy Christmas that a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies do. It still feels fresh, even today. It still feels fresh. It can be released today, and people would still love it. There's so much I love about this film. It hits the right emotional chords. I still usually cry whenever I watch it. Still hits that little chord with me. Great performances all around. Again, I think almost everyone's favorite Will Ferrell performance. And just such a great time. I love it a lot.
I also love this movie. It is interesting. I think Jordan's correct in that it is probably the most recent film to become a Christmas classic, or in the canon of classics people associate with Christmas movies. And it's interesting to have a movie that I was alive and remember being seeing in theaters.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Watch become kind of immortalized in my lifetime, which is that's weird. But like, yeah, no, it deserves, I think, the pedestal it stands on. It's hard to even talk about this movie because like it is just everything about it just works so well, and it's just obviously just a phenomenal movie. I actually don't know if it's my favorite Will Ferrell performance. I think sometimes his like naive sort of portrayal makes me cringe at certain points in this film, but I mean that's just a personal thing. I don't think that's a fault of him or the writing or anything. But yeah, it's great. Obviously, love this movie. It's amazing to me that this is Jon Favreau's like first big feature film. Like it's amazing that it is, yeah. Like I think he did an indie film before this. But it's amazing that between like the performances and the production design and the choices of like no CGI, which I know he fought for, and all that, like it's amazing to show that he showed so much mastery in making this film so early in his career.
So yeah, this is, like Nathaniel said, I definitely remember seeing this in theaters, and I remember seeing it like concurrently in following years when they would play it for free at movie theaters, and like my father would take me. Like I there's nothing that I really dislike about this movie. I could sit through it like again right now actually, because
this is the third time I've watched it this holiday season.
It's highly rewatchable. It is really wholesome. It's excellently casted, acted, and definitely deserves to be like the modern classic that it is, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, this is a great Christmas movie. I think encapsulates a lot of the values that we celebrate around Christmas perfectly well, and it makes you feel good, it makes you laugh, it makes you feel at home. Like it's such a warm movie, and yeah, if you've somehow managed to not see this movie, I'd recommend it. But yeah, this is a Christmas classic and deserves to be one.
Again, easily my all-time favorite Christmas movie, nearing one of my all-time favorite movies. I watch it every Christmas, usually a few times. I think it does such a good job of still remaining fresh and relevant and smart, providing great satire without ever being too cynical or skeptic. It still remains funny every time. It still has great performances all around, great effects, and a really compelling story. To me, it's the perfect Christmas movie. I think you can grow up with it and have nostalgia for it and love it more and more each year that you watch it. And this can be your first year watching it, and it has just as much value either way, which is something that I think that a lot of Christmas movies do not have. I think a lot of Christmas movies you had to have grown up with them and had that value growing up to be able to really enjoy them and appreciate them. And that's not true for this film at all. I think it only gets better each time you watch it. So I 100% highly recommend. For me, if there's one movie you watch this Christmas, it's going to be Elf for me.
Okay, people, Santa's coming to town. Santa! Oh my God! I know him. Elf. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color for the town?
So yeah, episode 2, we did it. Then the second one, I feel like we're actually getting back in the hang of things. Like I'm stuttering less. I'm saying which is good. No. I feel like I'm able to get through thoughts a little bit better. You know, we're gonna get back to this. We're gonna nail it, guys. Yeah, coming up next, we actually have
Sorry. Go on.
Coming up next, we have a double feature. It's Home Alone and Home Alone 2. Two Christmas classics from the... Is it 89 and 90?
It's 90.
Huh?
Yeah,
90?
yeah, 89 and 92, I think. Or 90 and 92.
Both starring Edward Norton.
Yes? Great method actor. You know, he was in Desolation of Smog, actually.
Oh, was he really? Was he Smog or The Desolation?
This hurts.
He was Smog.
Well, goodbye, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.